friends, Debbie here with Debbie Gets Crafty, here with my fantastic cook, my husband Todd. And Todd, what are you making today, hon?
I'm going to make some pork fried rice.
Excellent. So we're going to start out with some...
A little bit of EVOO
okay.
in the pan. Just a little bit, not too much.
Okay. And what do we have the temperature set to, honey?
On electric stove, it's 4.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put in the pork. I've cut it into cubes about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And we'll put that in there and we'll just start sauteing that.
Fabulous. All right.
And in case you didn't know, when you chop up pork, it does not come seasoned.
No, I would assume not.
So what I'm going to do is definitely give it a good dosing of garlic. I always use garlic powder in everything.
We like garlic powder in this house for sure.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, not too much.
Yummy. And that gives it a nice flavor as well, a nice sharp flavor.
I'm not going to use any salt on this because one of the ingredients is fairly salty as it is, so we don't need to put any more salt in this.
Okay.
But we're going to get this sauteed up and we'll saute it up and we'll get back to you in just a little bit.
Okay, hon. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, guys, now you can see that I've got the pork. It's fairly sauteed. What I'm going to do, I want to create layers. So what I always do, now you could do this different. If you want to take the pork out and do this separately, you could do that. I like to take, after I get the pork sauteed, my hands are clean, by the way, I like to add a couple of red bell peppers, and this is just 1/4 cup of onion, just enough to give it a little bit of flavor, chopped up finely so you won't even know it's there. If you don't like onion, you don't have to put it in there. If you like onion more, you can put more onion in there. You can make this recipe any way you want. So I like to saute this all together. The peppers kind of flavor the meat, and that's why I do it that way. If you want to do it separately, you can do that. That's up to you.
Now, honey, how long do you let this cook now?
I'll let the onions and peppers in there saute probably for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So till they get soft but not falling apart.
Okay.
We just want to get them just a little bit crispness left to them.
But soft.
But soft to chew.
Okay. So we'll see you in a few minutes,
see you
folks.
In a little bit. Okay, everybody, as you can see, the pepper and the onion and pork is all sauteed together. And we're going to take this out, put it aside.
Oh my gosh, friends, if you could smell how delicious this smells. Oh my gosh. Whew.
Get this out of here as quickly as possible. We don't want this video to take 2 hours, do we?
That's okay, honey. It won't. You're doing great. Friends, now, you know, this is just one of the reasons why I married the man, because he can cook like a champ. Like a chef. All right.
Now, with that one set aside, we need 4 tablespoons of butter. We do have a super secret ingredient going in here.
And it's a supermarket shortcut to boot.
It is.
So we're just letting that butter melt.
Butter melt a little bit.
It takes a few moments. But we don't edit anything out, friends. We keep it all in, so that's why it's taking a little bit of time for the butter to melt. But that's okay. You ready for the secret ingredient? And it would be rice-a-roni, stir-fried rice.
If you've never made rice-a-roni before, the first thing you want to do is toast the rice and the macaroni all together.
There you go.
And that butter. Using 2 boxes is going to make a lot. We always have leftovers. We always freeze. We always make enough so that we can have it again some other time and not have a lot of work to do.
Exactly. We work smarter, not harder. So what he's doing, my friends, is just allowing the rice and the macaroni, the macaroni pasta, vermicelli, I'm sorry, to toast and to brown. And he's going to give that a few minutes, and we will be right back.
Okay, now you can see the rice is all nice and toasted. We're going to add the flavor packets from the rice. Get them stirred in. Now each package calls for 2 cups of water, which I have right over here. There's 2 cups right here.
Woo.
This 2 cups is actually some vegetable stock that came from the vegetables that are going into it, so that's why it's got a little bit of color to it.
Ah, so you opened up the can of vegetables that's going into it, or a couple of cans, and you used that stock.
Use the stock. Really doesn't make any sense to waste it.
I agree. And you used water, of course, which will water it down.
Yes.
Okay, but it'll give it a little extra layer of flavor.
As you can see, now we just cover it, and it needs to cook for 15 minutes. So we'll see in 15.
Back.
Okay guys, the rice is just about done, but before it's completely done, we want to add back our pork and our peppers. Get them in there and get them start catching some flavor from that rice. And then we're going to put our stir fry in there. We've got a can of water chestnuts.
Sliced water chestnuts. Now you could put in a couple of cans because this is a double size
You could if you wanted
batch.
to.
So we probably could have put in an extra can, but that's okay. We're working with what we have.
Sorry about the clanging cans. And then we've got a whole can of sprouts. I'm just going to stir all that in together and get it all heating up together.
Oh my gosh, friends, you should see this. You should see the way this is looking. I'm just going to stick my hand in here and pull this out a little bit. There we go. That's okay. It is smelling fantastic. Oh my stars. So then what do we do? Let this sit for a couple more minutes?
We're going to let it heat through.
Okay. With the lid on?
Yes, I usually put the lid on.
Okay.
And then we have one last ingredient to top it off when we're done.
Okay.
When that's done, and we'll be right back with that. Just a few seconds. I'm going to let this heat through. Okay guys, now I'm going to just put in one last ingredient that I like to dress it with right at the end. We have some sesame oil. It really adds a nice layer of flavor. I don't put too much in there, maybe a tablespoon or 2. Just enough to give it some really good flavor.
I would say if it's your first time using sesame oil, err on the side of caution and use maybe a tablespoon. All right. And then all that's left is to dish it up and eat it. So we'll be right back.
Okay guys, here's the final product. I hope you have watched the video and I hope you enjoy it.
So what I'm going to do now is give it a little dress with a little sweet Thai chili sauce. Just a little bit, a few drops here and there. Gives it a little bit of extra zing. There we go. And we are ready to eat. My friends, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this recipe.
And until we see you all again, from our kitchen to you, thanks so much, guys.
Bon appetit.
Bye-bye now.